back to Transformers Through the Ages. I am your host, the Friendly Android, and today we are getting into the in-depth episode breakdowns of the War for Cybertron Siege episodes. This is episode 1. If you have not seen the overview, go back and check that out. I just give my overall thoughts on the series, and it is spoiler-free. There will be spoilers in all the rest of these episodes, so fair warning. So if you don't want spoilers, click off now, go watch the show, and then come back. Okay? We open with a sweeping shot of some Seekers flying through a cityscape with the two Cybertronian moons in the background. This is a beautiful shot, and I just wanted to draw attention to the beautiful cinematography of that. The next thing we see are Bumblebee and Wheeljack hiding in some rubble. They're apparently searching for Energon, the fuel that fuels basically everything on Cybertron. This is a interesting callback to how in G1, Bumblebee and Wheeljack were the first two Transformers to appear on screen. If you want to go back and check out my episode on More Than Meets the Eye Part 1, make sure you go and check out the playlist. I'll link it down below in the description. They also find a space bridge in this scene, and it's pretty big. I don't really have much else to say on that. I'm not an engineer, so I don't know how they work. Wheeljack seems to, though, as he tries to start it up, causing Bumblebee to yell at him. Bumblebee mentions Velocitron in this scene, so we know that at least one of the colonies is confirmed in this universe. They are snuck up on by the Seekers, and then we go to the intro/theme song thing. It's a pretty standard couple second thing. Like I didn't count, but I figure it's around 30 seconds. The graphics are really cool. Not really much else to say about that. We come back into the story, and Jetfire and Starscream immediately start bickering about what best to do with their new prisoners, and Jetfire cuts off Starscream's hand. It's a good time. We gotta get our Starscream abuse in at some point, right? The Seekers all begin attacking Jetfire for not wanting to immediately execute their prisoners. This surprises no one, including Jetfire. Bumblebee and Wheeljack almost escape, but just then Megatron arrives on the scene. How he knew all this was going down here, I have no idea, but it makes for good tension. Wheeljack and Bumblebee have a little back and forth with him before being rescued by Optimus Prime, who swoops in to save the day. His voice acting is very good in this series, I will just say. Lots of emotion in the voice. A+. These two, Optimus and Megatron, argue about the nature of slavery and the war and who started it, and then they actually fight. It's a really good scene, well choreographed, and it's got some punchy dialogue in there. Apparently Alpha Trion was murdered by Megatron in this universe, so there's something. Perhaps that will get expanded upon later. Megatron beats Optimus and is about to kill him, but then Elita One shoots a Seeker in the head, causing a distraction, and we get a chase scene as they try to escape. Elita triggers an explosion, and the Decepticons are trapped in the space bridge building thing. I don't really know what the building is called, but they escape. I think this is a good time to mention Bumblebee is very mercenary in this episode, having a bit of an attitude with some of the other characters. Of course, I don't entirely blame him because they did put his life in danger, so there is that. They go back to the Ark, and it's very nicely designed. It looks like it's the Ark. Not much else to say. Again, I love the sets in this series. Gorgeous. Let's move on. The Ark is cloaked and is the Autobot base, for those who did not know. Optimus and Elita are adorable in this episode, but I just think that that's them all the time when they're a couple, so you know me. I'm a sucker for this sort of thing. We meet Ultra Magnus in this next scene. He's done very well. Not much to say about him, but I do like him. He thinks Optimus should sign the treaty, which is an interesting view. As again, we don't really know what the treaty says, so we don't really know who's being unreasonable, but based on people's actions, I think we can assume it's not good. Also, the Matrix is confirmed to exist in this scene. Then we get a scene in the medbay, and Red Alert is their doctor, apparently. I was not expecting this going in. I thought it was going to be Ratchet because he appeared in the trailer, but we'll get to him later. We get some back and forth between the Autobots, and Bumblebee refuses to join. Then we cut to Megatron giving a speech in which he drastically alters the events of what happened at the space bridge. So, he's got that going for him. Starscream and Jetfire have another little argument in front of Megatron this time, and Megatron berates Starscream for his ambition, but not his arrogance. Not his arrogance. Megatron muses on the nature of war, and we have the end scene of a hooded figure approaching the Decepticon Citadel. And that is basically the plot of this episode. I think it was pretty good. I'll give it probably a 4 out of 5. The plot was really simple and seemed to drag in areas, but the characters are really great, and I very much enjoyed it. I recommend this episode. So thank you everybody for listening. Hope that you guys all enjoyed. We're hopefully going to get the next couple coming out next week, so stay tuned for that. Make sure to subscribe down below. And until next time, keep calm and stay superior.